Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Layla. Ignore that laundry basket. And today I'm coming at you with a huge book haul. Guys, I have spent way too much money on books. I regret nothing. However, I'm just gonna get right into it because we have a lot to talk about. I have bought a little bit of everything. I've bought comic books, poetry books. I have some nonfiction. I have definitely a lot of fiction. I have romance. I have thrillers. So let's get right into it. I purchased the first 3 Heartstopper graphic novels. I tried the first one in my last reading vlog. If you haven't seen that, check that out. And I loved it, so I bought the second one, and I've now acquired the third one. I have already started it. I really love this series. Basically, it is about 2 boys who fall in love, except one of them, Nick, thought he was straight, and Charlie had gotten bullied in the past, so they're like trying to figure out that in their romance. So next on graphic novels, because we're doing graphic novels first, I have Sea of Sorrows, which I also purchased recently and I read in my last vlog. Basically, this is about these sailors who were going off into like this dangerous voyage to look for treasure, and little did they know there was like a literal siren like coming after them. It's very gruesome, very dark. Trigger warnings if you don't like anything really gruesome and graphic. This is probably not the thing for you, but the art is amazing. Siren, like I said. Another graphic novel is Ghosted in LA Volume 1, because this is another series. Very bright and lively art that I really vibed with. This is about a woman named Daphne, and she is a freshman in college. She moved all the way to California away from her family just to be with a guy who dumped her on her first day there. And she finds herself in this abandoned hotel that is filled with ghosts. And she's like, "Can I stay with you?" And they say yes. So if that intrigues you at all, definitely give this a read. It's very short, very quick, very colorful. Last book in the graphic novel category is Quiet Girl in a Noisy World. I just read this yesterday, started and finished it yesterday. It is amazing. It is so cute. And it's an introvert story, and I completely agree with that. I really loved it. Like, some stuff was just because like she's shy and has like anxiety, but they do say that in the book. So like I really enjoyed this. I thought it was really cute, and I related to so many things. Like, I have so many little like dog ears for the pages of things that I absolutely love. For instance, there's a drawing of where her perfect date night is, and you can't see it, but she is on the couch reading and he is just on his laptop. And I'm like, honestly, yes, because like I don't always need to be doing the same thing, but sometimes if I'm just in the same room with you, I am perfectly content. It does not take much, and I really love this book. It's like one of my favorites now. It might be my favorite at the moment, actually. Now for thrillers, I have a lot in this category. I love thrillers. So basically, first up we have The Wives, and this is about a woman who knows her husband has 2 other wives, but she's like never met them. Like, I don't think she's allowed to see them or anything like that. But then she follows him, I guess, to go and see one of the other wives, but it looks like he's like abusing one or both of the other ones. And so she like dives into this. I am very, very excited to get to this book. Next we have The Perfect Nanny. I haven't heard a lot about this. I think I've only heard of one other booktuber reading this book, and I don't remember the rating, but I'm just gonna give it a try for myself. It says, when Miriam decides to return to work as a lawyer after having children, she and her husband look for the perfect nanny for their son and daughter. They never dreamed they would find Louise, a quiet, polite, devoted woman who sings to the children, cleans the family's chic Paris apartment, stays late without complaint, and hosts enviable kiddie parties. But as the couple and the nanny become more independent on one another, jealousy, resentment, and suspicions mount, shattering the idyllic tableau. Building tension with every page, The Perfect Nanny is a compulsive, riveting, bravely observed exploration of power, class, race, domesticity, motherhood, and madness. So yeah, I was gonna check this out, and it's like super short. It is less than 300 pages, so I'm sure I could knock this out. Next we have 2 Karen Slaughters, because I love thrillers, but I haven't read Karen Slaughter. Like, make it make sense. So first up we have The Good Daughter. I was about to say The Good Doctor. If you've seen that show, let me know. But I'm about this much of the way through it. It seems to be about like a school shooting where Definitely trigger warnings for that if that is something that bothers you. But it is really good so far. I don't know a whole lot. I didn't want to. All I know is that these two are like Karen Slaughter's most popular books, at least on BookTube, as far as I know. Pretty Girls is what I would arguably say is her most popular book on BookTube, and it says, it's been more than 20 years since Claire and Lydia last spoke. Claire is a glamorous trophy wife of an Atlanta millionaire. Lydia, a single mother dating an ex-con, struggles to make ends meet. But neither has recovered from the disappearance of their sister Julia 2 decades later, and the shocking murder of Claire's husband brings the horror and heartbreak of the past roaring back into their lives. The vanishing of a teenage girl and the killing of a middle-aged man, almost a quarter century apart. What could connect them? As they form a wary truce, the surviving sisters unearth the secrets that destroyed their family all those years ago and find the astonishing truth where they least expected it. And I've heard that this is like the most gruesome book ever. But I'm not scared. So I'm very excited to try this. Next we have Sad Girls, which I was actually not aware was a thriller until after I bought it, because I purchased it because books with Chloe had read, or that I'm about to read, which is your first love isn't the person you give your heart to, it's the first one who breaks it. So I was like, sure, maybe I could use that right now. And honestly, I love it. I just love the feel of this book, and it's just so satisfying. But yeah, I actually read the thing, and it's like school is almost out for Audrey, but the panic attacks are just beginning because Audrey told a lie and now her classmate Anna is dead. Just as her world begins to spin out of control, Audrey meets the enigmatic Rad, the boy who could turn it all around. But will their ill-timed romance drive her closer to the edge? So much more interested in this now. I am like, wow, it seems really good. Local Woman Missing. I do not really remember what this is about, but I assume it's about a local woman that's missing. So I'm not gonna go too much into this. I honestly don't remember why I picked it up. It's also super floppy. Honestly, if a paperback is floppy, I might just buy it for no reason at all other than I like it, especially if it's a thriller. You know, I'll give it a shot. Let me know if you've read this. No spoilers though. Second to last thriller. Oh, they gave me a bookmark? I didn't even see that. But second to last thriller is The Wife Upstairs. And basically, it's about this woman who kind of has a thing with like trying to get other people's money, and so she goes to this widower. His wife just died from like a drowning or something. It's like the talk of the town, and so she's like, oh, I can get his money easily. But then she finds out things that she wasn't meant to know, or her past comes back to her because she has like a bad past as well. So yeah, I did not explain that very well, but it sounded interesting when I read the back. Next, this book cost $30. Let that sink in. $28 for this book. I mean, it's gorgeous. I love all of this. However, $28, but if I lived in Canada, it would have cost $37. Anyways, I think I'm gonna love this book, which is why I spent the money on it, and which is why I regret nothing. Also, this book is pretty long. It's called The Violence by Delilah S. Dawson. Sorry, I haven't really been saying who these books are by, but whatever, look it up on GOODREADS. Anyway, this is about how there's this like kind of violence virus that's been going around, and there's this woman who already has an abusive husband, and I think she has 1 or 2 kids with this man, and her husband is already abusive, so it kind of alludes to she's gonna use this whole violence virus kind of like as an excuse to like murder her husband. So I'm all about, honestly, like strong women overcoming things like this. Yes, the couple's 17-year-old daughter. It says if family time doesn't go exactly the way that David wants, bad things happen to Chelsea, the main woman, and to the couple's 17-year-old daughter Ella. And I read the very beginning. I'm just going to read to you the first page. The first recorded incidents of the violence occurred as Ruth Belmont of Land of Lakes, Florida, was putting a tub of mayonnaise in her cart at a warehouse store on Tuesday, April 15th, 2025. The peaceful and highly religious grandmother dropped the mayonnaise, reached for the large bottle of Thousand Island dressing, and struck a fellow customer, 24-year-old Melissa Mendoza. Mendoza's toddler sat in the seat of her buggy and watched silently as the elderly woman beat her mother to death with a bottle of dressing. Once Mendoza was dead, Belmont replaced the dressing on the shelf, selected a new bottle, and attempted to continue shopping. As local law enforcement tackled her to the ground, Belmont screamed, cried, and claimed innocence. Store cameras captured the grisly scene. When the violence was discovered to be a disease, Belmont was released from jail. She is now suing the state for $1.3 million in damages, including a broken collarbone. Later sufferers were not so lucky. So it's kind of like a news thing, a little snippet before the book actually begins. Like chapter 1 starts after that. But like I had read that in the store when I was deciding whether or not to buy this, and I was like, wow, like the violence like must be like a very, I don't know, like I'm already trying to put together in my mind like what exactly the disease is, because then it seems like very like short, quick bursts. Like if she was literally like just kill someone and then went back to like trying to grocery shop, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy this. Next section are going to be short before we get to another longer section. So we have 2 nonfictions. This one I did not actually buy. Everything else I bought, but this one I am borrowing from one of my roommates. It's about love and it's by Bell Hooks, who is very respected. I actually had to learn about her in one of my college courses, and my roommate just says that she talks about love and the different attachment styles and what you need to have like a successful relationship, kind of what you should look for in a partner. And she said that it does go into religion, which I am fine with because I am a Christian. Apparently she is a Christian. I'm fine with that. So yeah, I'm going to give this a read, and I will have to read this soon because my roommate is leaving like in the next 2 weeks. So this will be read pretty soon. Second nonfiction book is Burnout, The Secret to Unlocking the Stress Cycle. And this is supposed to be specifically for women. Like, why do women specifically feel the need to work super hard? And if you don't know me, hi, I'm Layla, and I push myself too hard all the time. So I'm trying to like tone it down a little bit. Like I'm still gonna work hard, but I want to like do like a normal amount of working hard and not like I'm like always going back and forth and burnout, like the burnout cycle, like I'm saying. So this says, what can you do to complete the biological stress cycle, how to manage the monitor in your brain that regulates the emotion of frustration, and how the bikini industrial complex makes it difficult for women to love their bodies, and how to defend yourself against it. So I am very excited for this book. Hopefully it will help me. I was talking with my friend Cynthia when I bought this, and I was like, oh, this is going to teach me how to stop overworking myself if I listen to the advice. And then she was like, you're probably not going to listen to the advice. And I was like, correct. I probably won't, but at least I'll know how to avoid burnout. So the next time, probably after I read this book that I experienced burnout, I'm like, oh, I could have avoided this, even though I'm always like that. But it is what it is. I bought one romance novel, The Song of Achilles. I've heard that it is super sad, and it's the romance between Achilles and Patroclus, and it involves Greek mythology. I know absolutely nothing else. I was going to audiobook it, but then I wasn't vibing with the narration, so I decided not to audiobook it, and I am a little bit scared to read this, to be honest, because I know so many people love it, and I was thinking about doing a reading vlog only dedicated to this book, so I know for sure that I'm finishing it, but like I'm kind of scared that I'm not gonna like it. Usually I don't like sad books. Well, I'm not sure if it's like I don't like sad books or I don't like books going into it like knowing that they're sad. I'm not sure, but I am willing to give this a try. And then we have poetry novels, which I have been so into poetry lately. I've been writing poetry, I've been reading poetry. Poetry. I've been all over it. So first we have 2 rupee bars, and this is Milk and Honey, which I read recently. I liked it. And I actually made one of the poems my screensaver. It was You Are Your Own Soulmate, and I really like that. This is the journey of surviving through poetry. This is the blood, sweat, tears of 21 years. This is my heart in your hands. This is the hurting, the loving, the breaking, the healing. And those are actually like the different sections of the book. The hurting, the loving, the breaking, and the healing, and major trigger warnings for sexual assault, which I was not aware of when going into this, to be completely honest. And I was kind of taken aback by that because I thought that basically I didn't know that was going to be talked about. But yeah, this is still good. And then I got another rupee card, and this is like a special edition. It is really cute. I love it. It kind of looks like if I read this, I'm going to be reading up on gardening and how to garden. Oh, I just opened it and there's illustrations, and these poems look longer than the ones in Milk and Honey. more illustrations, and it's a hardcover. I don't think I've ever owned a hardcover poetry book, but yes, I'm not sure what this is about. It says, after feeling disconnected for so long, my mind and body are finally coming back together, finally coming back to each other. Oh, body. I'm very excited to read this. I might start this today, actually. Not like I'm reading 2 other books right now. Whatever. Another book we have is I Must Belong Somewhere by Dawn Lanuza, and I liked this one. I already read it. I gave it about 3 stars. I think it would probably be better for a younger audience, like if you're, I say like 13 to 16, maybe 17, you'll probably like this more. And it's kind of like a coming of age, like trying to find where you belong, things like that, and like letting go of like your childhood fantasy. Well, not really letting it go, but like acknowledging it and trying to like find that again, I guess, is kind of what this poetry collection entails. There are 100 poems, which honestly is impressive because that's a lot. Second to last poetry book I will be talking about in this video are the Serenity poems by F.S. Yusuf, and I did softly DNF this. I will be coming back to it, but it's about like lovey-dovey poems, and I just wasn't in the mood for that at the time. But I did get to page 24 out of the poems. The back says, "Come, take my hand, the sun is not harsh today, and the night is not as dark. Let us finally fight for who we aspire to be, after all these years of letting the hurt tell us who we are." Poems on love and gentleness. Oh, I didn't read that part. I just read the little poem thing. But it does say poems on love and gentleness. And then I put it down because it's talking about love. I'm so dumb. There's a fish. I swear to you, I did not see this fish. I've had this for days now, and I've looked at this cover repeatedly because it's freaking beautiful, but all I looked at were the flowers, and now I'm seeing the fish, and I love it even more. Am I blind? The last book that I will be talking about, I got from Thrift Books. I also got Sad Girls from Thrift Books and the Introvert book. Basically, if I can get something on Thrift Books for cheaper, I am. This is Us. It says, "These words, these pages, this love, it was made for me, them, and you. They were made for us." And this is a long poetry book. I saw a quote from Kiana Izizian on Pinterest, I think, and I was like, whoa. It hit me like a truck. I don't even remember what it was, to be completely honest. All I remember is that I loved it, and so I immediately looked her up, and I found a couple books from her. And so this is the first one that I'm going to try. Like I said, this is a long poetry book. Like, I've never seen a poetry collection this long, but it is 297 pages, like literally almost 300 pages. That is longer than The Nanny, or The Perfect Nanny. But I'm excited. I have so much poetry to review. We have 5 poetry collections, 1 romance, 2 nonfictions, 8 thrillers, and 6 comic books, for a total of 24 books. And the sad thing is, guys, the really sad thing is, I bought these all legit in the span of a week. Like, I started buying books last Tuesday. It is Tuesday again, and I bought 24 books. Don't worry, I am now on a book buying ban. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe so you can see more content from me. Also, please let me know down below what the most recent book you read is and what the most recent book you bought is. And a lot of times, yes, those are 2 different answers to 2 completely different questions, because all readers know that collecting books and reading books are 2 completely different hobbies. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.